It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Real Estate Investor Podcast. We had a very long segment with Ameisha Herron, who is our Section 8 tenant placement person. So we're going to continue that conversation in this episode. We're going to get back into a little more of the details of MHA, why it works, and why Jeff is sleeping through episode number 2. Stick around.
Are you thinking about investing in real estate, building your net worth and your income, but you're just not sure where to start? I'm Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer and an investor. Let's explore your options on financing your investment property. Connect with me at jogarner.com. Call or text me, 901-482-0354. Proud to be a sponsor of It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere Real Estate Podcast.
MHA is like an uphill climb with your skis on your back and 2,000 pounds. And But once you get to the top and you get going, it's pretty easy sledding after that. Mm-hmm. But again, it's guaranteed money. So
and the new constructions, the maintenance.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like those concrete floors with the new constructions help a lot with maintenance.
That is true.
That's true, but it can be something that they don't just really like that because they're cold.
Yeah.
They are, and they might have, small.
You go to Walmart and buy an area rug. I don't have any carpet in my house.
No worse.
My whole house is wood floors and
I
tiles.
don't think it's any colder than tile floors or that hardwood floor.
I know. Sometimes they peel,
Yeah, you got to stain. You got to have to reseal them every few years.
Yeah. Well, look, let me ask you this.
A person in a full bedroom with 8 kids, come on now.
Yeah, but imagine if that house had carpet in it.
Yeah, for
You'd
sure.
be pulling that out every 6 months.
But I probably would consider going back, to keep a tenant and to get the maximum, do a walkthrough. And if the floors may need to be
sealed.
A lot of builders now are going back to the LVT, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mario's doing that. Terry Brown's gone back to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask you in a minute because Terry Brown's starting 10 new homes. Mm-hmm. Same homes he's been doing, but he's putting carports on them. Mm-hmm. Maybe garages.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Tell me about that. That's going to be easy, Renz.
Man, listen, a girl texted me this morning because I placed her with a guy and they ended up selling. They ended up selling because he was a new client and he was in between of keeping it or selling it. Ended up selling it. So the tenant, I said, well, we have to find somewhere else. I sent her some more houses and she was like, I want a garage. I don't want none of that. I need to have a garage.
Single carport,
but he texted me this morning and said, what do you think about me doing a garage? I said, well, if you can do it affordably and it makes sense, absolutely. I said, that's a slam dunk.
But a single
for a tenant, for sure.
Not a double on those lot sizes, right?
Yeah, he'll have to do singles.
This house had the separate. It was a garage, but it wasn't like attached to the house. Yeah.
What is the price of the house with the carport and or garage?
I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. But
so
it'll be
where are you at now? 170 on these 4
Yeah, we'll
twos?
probably be in the 180s.
All right, so 185, same neighborhood, Suncrest. Are you going to be able to get an
garage?
Are you going to be able to get an $1,850 voucher on a $185,000 house in that neighborhood?
That was my next question.
If they want it.
If you got a house with a carport or a garage, does that change the rent? Well, it changes the rent value.
Does it?
No, because the beds
not with Memphis.
But it's still going to be based on bedrooms, baths.
That's all.
Square footage. Okay.
Right. It's just the garage will be more appealing to the tenant. And maybe get someone in there.
If it's cost effective, though. I mean, if you have...
He's already figured in the garages on his new plans, but then he asked me about, or the carports, but then he asked me, what do you think about doing the garages? I said, if you can do it affordably and it makes sense, then absolutely do it, because that's just a slam dunk.
That's going to add value to the house, but what she's saying is...
It won't give them a higher voucher because there's a garage.
I'm not going to be able to rent it for the value of the house, and now I'm putting a tenant in a $185,000 house.
So it's a couple $100 less on the MHA rent, but over the next 3 years you can increase that and get it to where it needs to be.
Some of these investors won't even touch it unless it's 1% right now.
Not on new construction. They're bending the rules on that part of it.
Ameisha, when I'm set up to get payments, how's the government MHA pay me? Do they just wire the money from them to my account?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're my tenant placement girl, my property manager, you collect the other portion of the rent they're owed, or do I'd handle that directly myself?
Oh no, it's if that's the job that you need from me.
Right.
Yes, I could.
But the government literally, they don't mail you a check.
No, it's direct deposit.
Direct deposit once a month, wired to your account.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever arrangement that we have,
right,
I can pay you to.
Right. Make sure.
Because you kind of do a little property management,
yeah,
right?
a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back to that. That is the wonderful thing about MHA. Now that we've addressed the fact that Section 8 tenants aren't a bunch of deadbeats with no jobs,
that's what I said.
Sitting in their front
end.
yard all day. There are a lot of single moms and a lot of small families that use assistance because they just don't make enough money to afford the housing here in Memphis. So yeah, and if you can get guaranteed money out of it, even if it's 80% guaranteed and the other 20% is at risk, that's better than having 100% at risk with a self-pay. Absolutely.
I don't know. It would make me as a landlord be more inclined. Like, let's say I had a tenant that was paying me $1,200 and MHA was giving her $1,000. And she's having a tough couple of months, I mean, I'm going to work with, if I'm a landlord, I'm going to work with her.
Yeah.
I may
even. That just comes down to what type of landlord you are.
Yeah.
Are you going to work with them, or are you going to,
takes care of the house.
Nickel and dime them?
She takes care of the house. She's trying, and she's $200 short on her portion of the rent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my God, why wouldn't you work with the young lady,
And then just do the rent increase.
Well, some people take advantage.
Yeah.
Some people take advantage now. You have tenants that, every month you pay your portion late, come on now, we know what's going on. Every month you calling in maintenance requests and stuff like that.
I get it.
Or now you haven't paid your $175 in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to apply some pressure to you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So.
All right, let's move on to another section, which I find this interesting. There's some policy changes coming this year. HOTMA is the first one. I wonder if Richard wrote that in there just to be a jackass.
Tell us about that.
HOTMA.
It says a new $103,200 asset limit for tenants.
That's what I don't understand.
Some may lose eligibility. Have you heard of this HOTMA program?
No.
What about?
It says a $103,200 asset limit for tenants. That's what I'm wondering, if they're going to start capping the value of the property that the tenant can rent.
Well, the rumor is you got 2 years.
Okay.
That's the rumor.
Of what?
Of being on the program.
Okay.
That's
so
the
after
rumor.
2 years.
What program?
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Cut off.
Asset limit. They're probably meaning that tenant could get up to $103,000, and then they're going to have to reapply.
Or get
booted off, or get a job. Or
right, get a job.
Better job.
Figure out something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Everybody say on the Trump administration.
When you say $103,200, so that voucher could last you for 10 years.
It might, but I think what Ameisha's getting to is there's some changes coming through the Trump administration, but I think they're designed more to get people off of MHA
Correct.
that don't need it, that are using it, that are just milking the system.
Right.
Which there's plenty of people that do that.
Definitely.
What about this Inspire new inspection system that's supposed to start October 1st of this year?
Oh, that'd be amazing. What that consist of?
I have no idea.
That's all it says is Inspire.
I'm assuming they're going to start doing MHA inspections every 6 months instead of annually.
Because
a lot of leases are important, but also the tenants, and you as a landlord, you almost have to, be firm on the expectations of a tenant, because some of these tenants, especially housing authority, Section 8 tenants, they come from apartments, right? Mm-hmm. So they don't know what it takes to maintain a house. They feel like you're supposed to change the air filters. They feel like you're supposed to change the light bulbs.
So the smart thing to do would have an addendum to your lease with a list of responsibilities every month that you are required to take care of. Because let's face it, an air filter,
and then you
change it every 3 months. It costs $20. It's not like
but you have to take the time out. They have no idea where the furnace is. You got to show them too. You got to show them. You have to.
It's new for them. Everything is new for them when it comes to like a house versus an apartment.
Right.
You don't do nothing in an apartment.
Well,
they don't even change the light. They won't even change the light bulb.
That goes
yard and all of that is maintenance.
Yes.
That goes back to doing your due diligence, inspecting the property once or twice a year, every quarter. Because the average tenant, if they go to plug something in an outlet and that outlet's not working, they're just going to take it and plug it in on another wall. They're probably not going to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, my electrical outlet's not working."
Please, yes,
but
they do.
you know,
MHA
well, some of
tenant
them may or may
They pick
not.
every
you
little
know?
thing.
Because a Section 8 tenant gonna report everything,
Well,
especially
that's a good thing.
to an extent.
You know,
Right.
Our biggest deal is these damn food disposals, and I know you voiced your
Yeah, I hate
concern
'em.
with. Every time
And the
someone calls
dishwasher.
me, you know, and it's usually just go flip the breaker, or
You
they
know what though?
they've put
Here's-
something in it and they got it
Thought
unclogged,
about it.
and I had to go out there and unclog
As
it.
I'm reading these rule changes, I'm beginning to realize that I think these are pertaining to the project properties.
Probably
Project
so.
based. Why you say
Project
that?
That
What
could
is
make
it?
sense.
Because of the amount, federal underfunding causing voucher attrition, fewer vouchers, higher demand for existing approved units. All right, they're talking about units in the
Apartment
buildings, not
complexes.
single family homes. So
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how those rule changes impact the single family, because I've always thought that MHA treated the single family way different than they treated the projects.
They do.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do, definitely. And that's why they say enforce your lease. That's why whatever is going on, you know, with the
Because if you're under a project voucher in a building as an owner, you've got a lease, but I'm sure there's more HUD rules and Section 8 rules in place for that building than there would be for a single family home.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All
Oh
right.
yeah, because you've got
The
fire
ma-
sprinkler, fire sprinkler
Mhm.
systems, and emergency exits.
Because
you wanna do a
in
closing.
in a single family home,
Elevators.
you don't have to provide appliances.
Oh, yeah, true. That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, all right, let's go through some numbers here. Vacancy rates, Section 8 properties are 4% versus the market rate's 8%. It's almost double vacancy rates. So if you rent through MHA, your vacancy rates will be lower, which only does what? Increases your cash flow and your ability to pay your expenses. Average tenant duration, 3 to 5 years. 1 year market rate. So every 1 year, that means every year you can submit to MHA or Section 8 to get an increase in your rent. And what is the average increase, Ameisha? Is it $50 a year, $100 a year, or are they based just strictly on market?
It just depends.
What's the average you
Every-
see? 50 a year?
Maybe 100.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it just depends because, say, for instance, you have had some other property. Say, for instance, you got 50 properties on Section 8. Well, 20 of them been your tenants since you became a landlord 10
Right.
years ago. And, you know, they just been riding the wave. Well, you like, okay, let me go see if I can get an increase and bring those $900 vouchers up to $1,500. Boom.
A lot of times they'll do it because they've
Yeah,
been
they
there a
do.
long time.
Really?
Yeah, I got you.
The
Okay.
area, the area has developed. And
So let's
grown.
talk about our new houses. And I've
Well, hold
got
on. Let me get through the rest of these numbers here, and then we'll go into the new construction.
No, it was a rent question,
Oh, yeah, okay.
a rent increase question. I've got a tenant in the house for $1,000 a month. I go up next year to $1,100. Who pays the difference? The tenant, or do we go back to MHA and ask them to
You're
pay?
asking MHA to pay it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's who you're
you
asking
get
the
the
rent
increase,
increase from.
yeah.
And as
Get
long
the-
as you're not jumping
So the
way
in-
out of whack on the increase,
In the
they'll probably
area.
approve
so
it.
the
Yeah.
increase comes through MHA.
Mhm.
But they have to approve my request,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
And then, like you said a minute ago, in a rare case where someone's been in that house for 10 years and the neighborhood's developed around it real good, you could actually go from $900 to $1,200-$1,300 a month and possibly get approved through MHA.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's what you were telling me a few weeks ago, and you're anticipating some of these $1,600 rents to go up $250 next year.
Right, because I mean that's what it was all based on. Like the 4-bedroom should have been supposed to be 1,800.
Right.
Okay.
But why are they only producing $1,650 right now?
1,550.
$1,550
Yeah,
right now.
because-
The market. That's just what the market bears right now. Or?
That's just those tenants that doesn't have income. Their family
okay.
isn't, you know, and it just
Is it up to me if I put an MHA tenant in there and she's paying 0 portion of the rent because she doesn't have a job? She gets a job. She's supposed to report that, but they don't always do. Is that my responsibility as a landlord to say, hey, I noticed you got a new BMW in your driveway. Did you get a new job? Yeah, I got a new job.
That's more
Now-
common than you think.
I mean, but
now I call MHA back
Jeff
and
is
say,
watching.
hey, girlfriend's making $750
Jeff got the
a
neighborhood
week
watch
take home
calling him.
pay.
so
know?
you should.
Is that my responsibility as a landlord? Or should I just keep my mouth shut? Keep getting the free money?
Just trying to make
Okay,
sure.
so I mean, listen. If it depends on the house that sells, so if that tenant was in a new construction, right, then maybe. However, the rent doesn't change.
Right,
The
okay.
tenant just starts paying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Let me
now
tell you-
y'all,
So you
now
still
y'all,
would be taking that risk.
I can
if the
answer
tenant's
that
gonna
question.
Pay or
though.
not.
Not
Legally, you're the landlord. You have a lease with that tenant for a set amount of rent.
exactly.
Her income situation between her and MHA is between her and MHA. It really has no liability on your part. So if she fails to produce it, the only downside is she could lose her voucher, and all of a sudden you got a tenant that's not paying rent.
Right, but
So you'd
some
wanna-
of them wouldn't report it
Yeah, I
though,
mean,
because
you
they
would
know
probably
they're going to
wanna-
have to pay a bigger portion of the rent.
You may want to take time every few months, 5-minute phone call to the tenant, and just check in with them and just
Yeah,
make
because
sure.
it's the critical time would be like before 60 days before it's time to renew the
Right.
lease, because that is when you can get an increase. That is
And
when
just
if that
call
tenant
them and ask
start
them
working.
questions. Say, have you started working? Are you making more money?
Yeah, but I mean,
Blah, blah, blah.
Marissa knows
Oh, you
what I'm
are?
talking
Have you reported
about.
that?
You know what I'm talking about. Girl hadn't paid her $400 portion of the rent in 3 months, and I've been cutting her some slack, and then I drive by
Well,
there,
that's
and the
different
girlfriend's
because you're
got a
already.
brand new BMW out in her driveway. Hey, sweetheart, I need my rent money, my
What-
portion of the rent money.
Right. She get filed
Well, you
down
can
by now.
enforce you can enforce your lease.
Right.
I mean, your lease, and then MHA only pays a certain amount. It's her duty to pay her
All right,
amount.
I understand. I just wanted to understand how all that worked.
Jeff said he wants the neighborhood watch to give him a call when the tenant's rolling up in the 2027 BMW.
Girlfriend got a nicer ride than I do.
Yeah, she get filed down. She'll get filed down.
Eventually, I'll catch up with her. But
No, you gonna
Oh, okay, I
can
will do
file
that.
an eviction
Oh,
on her.
okay.
You can file for her rent portion, and you can let MHA know, hey, she's not paying. Now, then you apply pressure and you file eviction. Then
She'll find the money.
she'll either find the money.
Or sell the car. Yeah.
Or,
No,
yeah,
what'll happen is she'll lose. If she doesn't,
She'll
she'll
lose
lose her
the voucher,
voucher, lose her
yeah.
house, and then
All
have
right.
to lose her car because she won't be able to pay for it.
exactly.
yeah.
The profitability research facts we already covered. Section 8 average is 4%, self-pay is 8%. Average tenant duration 3 to 5 years. 1 year market rate, meaning at the end of each year you could apply for an increase in rent covered by MHA. Marketing costs 0, with exception of if you hire Ameisha or you
Right.
hire an MHA placement person or a Section 8 placement person, y'all typically charge a fee to find that tenant. Unless you're going to manage the property and make money long term off of it, then you probably give them a break or something like
No, I
that.
don't.
You don't.
Misha
I
ain't
just
cutting no
can't.
slack.
I can't. I mean, the retainer. It's just saying that we are in this thing. I'm gonna work with you, and then I could just like maybe on the next one or so. But then it is competitive market here
Yeah.
in Memphis right now.
It is.
Everybody.
Which really makes you have to put that work in
You
as
gotta
a tenant
put that work
placement
in.
person
You have to. You have to be at the tenant's beck and call at this
in
moment.
the field.
And Memphis, it is. Somebody called it the Wild Wild West. It can be the Wild Wild West. You build those new constructions and you put those condensers, or you leave. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
It might be gone.
They're gonna be gone. Ain't no mic to it.
Mario's the only builder I've ever seen put those condensers down, and they never walk away. I don't know how that happens, but it just
Does he
stays.
cage him?
Yeah,
We cage.
but it mean nothing fancy. It's just
He's
standard
been
place.
lucky.
But I think people
He's been
stay
lucky.
there. Stay there.
Oh, well, that may be.
No,
Well,
his new constructions.
yeah, on the
Yeah, no,
Zucchus-
he have people in there. If you got a vacancy, you gonna have a squatter or some missing appliances or a
Yep.
missing hot water tank or a
Yeah,
missing
we never
something's missing.
we never drop that stuff until your
Do not.
tenant
Yeah,
moves
really.
in.
It's
Yeah.
starting to clean up, thank goodness. All right, well, let's keep moving along with this. Eviction rates lower due to program accountability, so holding tenants accountable. So the eviction rates are a lot lower nationally, and I would assume here in Memphis compared to self-pay evictions that take place.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Rent reliability is 70 to 100% government guaranteed. I don't know how you could find a better investment than that. That's like going to your stockbroker, Jeff, and giving him $100,000 and him giving you a letter back saying, I guarantee you will not lose a dime, or your stock portfolio won't drop a dime less 70% of its current value. That's a pretty damn good guarantee. So I don't know why any investor would want to self-pay, other than the fact that they've been burned by Section 8 in the past, the old Section 8. Okay, inspections and compliance facts. Annual inspections, initial approval, plus initial approval inspection, which Ameisha takes care of that for you when she places the tenant. Focus areas, health, safety, habitability. So I'm assuming that MHA takes part of that into consideration.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to put you in a barn built down, on the levee by the Mississippi River, right? It's got to be a
Correct.
habitable
yeah, 'cause
home.
they're big on lead.
Yeah.
Things that make a person sick.
Correct. Common issues, they always ask GFCI outlets in all of the areas that have water
Correct.
running,
Mm-hmm.
smoke detectors,
Carbon monoxide.
carbon monoxide detectors, and minor maintenance. That's their common issues that they always see during inspection, right?
Yeah.
That you've got to go back and redo if you don't take care of that stuff before the MHA inspects.
Trip
they'll-
hazards and stuff.
Yeah, they'll deny your approval, and then you'll have to redo that stuff, and they'll have to come back.
Right.
Reinspection. It's free if it's failed the first time, and there's a fee for subsequent failures. Meaning, I guess if you fail, do the work, they come back and you fail again, MHA could charge you a fee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Makes sense. Well,
That's why it's good to hire me, because it's like, and I'm gonna say this: the inspectors, they love to see the new construction. They pass first time. Like when I do a walkthrough, I try to make sure you don't have trip hazards or safety hazards, and that like the
like
doors
bars on the windows.
Locks,
Mm-hmm.
certain types of locks.
Well,
And
they made us put a handrail up on that side entrance over there
You gotta
on
do handrail.
Denver, but
Mhm.
that wasn't no big deal.
They'll even have
Builder was glad to do it.
FHA,
Three
VA,
step,
yep,
when they
FHA
when they
does it
mortgage
too.
a home, they require the same stuff.
Yep.
Let's talk about how you get started. I mean, obviously, I want to talk for 1 second about Memphis and the new construction and our rehabs. All of them are rented MHA, and our investors that bought those homes and have MHA tenants in place are seeing the benefit of that guaranteed income. And none of them are having any major oh shit moments with these MHA tenants. So I'm seeing a lot of good success through it. Now, I still have a few investors that bought homes that we haven't been able to rent. One of them I sent to you, Ameisha. Hopefully you can help find us a tenant.
Mhm.
But overall, the MHA program has been working really well here, and it's helped investors have a little more security in their investment. But let's talk about, as an investor, how you getting started. And this will be our last segment, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. This is the uphill climb I was telling everybody about earlier. You can submit an application as a landlord to MHA directly. Timeline for approval can be up to 30, 45, possibly even 60 days. I know that Daniel Tabish had a 60-day wait for approval. Property must pass initial inspection. Documentation you'll need to provide will be a signed lease agreement, W-9, and property photos. Now, with that, once you send that to MHA, Ameisha, you then wait for what? The HAP contract, which is where MHA signs off saying, okay, we agree to this lease, and here's the amount we agree to pay. And that is a contract between the landlord and MHA, correct?
Uh-huh.
The lease is between the landlord and the tenant.
Correct.
The HAP contract, HAP, is between MHA and the landlord, guaranteeing the payments.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, y'all got any more questions for Ameisha?
You just have a standardized lease that you use for
I do.
your
Yeah, I do.
owners.
And it has, everything for the tenant to be
Yeah.
responsible for.
So do you change out the air filters and blah, blah, blah? All
I
that
do
stuff?
not.
You do not? You should.
No.
You just brought it up. That's a great idea.
They have to change those air filters.
No, but what you could do is the landlord could just go buy 10 filters and you can drop them off at the house, put
Yep,
them in a
yep.
closet and say,
That's
listen,
how it is at
every
my
60
house.
days, pull this out, put that
Yeah.
in.
Our property management company, they'll send us an email. Hey,
Yeah.
it's time to change your filter.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the best way to kill a condenser.
Correct.
All right. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions for Ameisha, you can reach out to us at 901-692-7401 or mymemphisinvestmentproperties.com. Please send us a message if there's anything you want us to dig up and talk about. Obviously, it'll pertain a lot to the Memphis market, but if you're interested in the Memphis market, reach out to us. Also, hit that subscribe button on the podcast. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. Doesn't cost you anything, but you'll get notifications when we release new episodes, and we appreciate you listening. Have a good day.
For more common sense real estate tips, listen and subscribe at 5o'clocksomewherepodcast.com. The 5 O'Clock Somewhere Real Estate Investor Podcast is a Sound Ideas Group production.